Welcome to today's budget hearing for the proposed 2024-25 city budget. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce our interpreter, Mario, for today's hearing.
Now, thank you, Chris. Good afternoon. My name is Mario Barajas. I'm going to be serving as today's Spanish interpreter. I'll say a few words to our Spanish-speaking audience and let them know that there is services of an interpreter available to them. Buenas tardes, yo soy Mario Barajas y voy a estar sirviéndoles como el intérprete a los de habla hispana. Se les informa de que si acaso van a necesitar el servicio del intérprete, pueden acudir aquí con un servidor para poderles obsequiar los auriculares para poder escuchar la interpretación. Un par de recordatorios si es que van a dar un comentario público. Se les recuerda de que tomen en cuenta de que pueden tomar pausas si es que desean. Además, hablar con claridad y lentitud. Así de esa manera podemos interpretarles de la mejor manera posible. Gracias. Thank you, Chris.
And we'll start with opening remarks from the Vice Mayor and Councilman Ware.
Thank you all for being here. I must confess, I spent 4 hours in the dentist chair today. I fell a couple weeks ago, and so I finally got in to get my teeth prepared. So I apologize. I look like a wreck, but I'm happy to be here otherwise. Take it away, Jim.
Thank you, Deb. I'm Jim Waring from District 2, and your teeth look lovely, Deb. They did a great job, and we're happy that you're all here. There was a terrible accident on the 51, so we may have more people coming in who are at least staffers for sure. I know a couple people are stuck behind that accident, so thank you for being here.
All right, before we begin discussion on the proposed trial budget, we'll play a video about the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. The master plan will define the community's vision and guide the department's direction for the next 10 years and beyond. The Parks and Recreation Department strongly encourages resident feedback, and we have staff at the back if you'd like to have any discussion after the meeting.
Welcome to the City of Phoenix Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Phoenix Parks and Recreation is dedicated to making Phoenix a better place to live, visit, and play. In this video, we will be answering 3 basic questions. 1. What is a master plan? 2. What is the focus of Phoenix Parks and Recreation's master plan? And 3. How can you get involved? First, what is a master plan? A master plan develops a clear purpose for our department and the vision for recreation facilities, programs, and services for the next decade. A master plan provides an opportunity to receive quality feedback and have meaningful engagement from the community. The Phoenix Parks and Recreation Master Plan will start in fall of 2023 and last approximately 18 months. Second, what is the focus of this master plan? As part of our master plan, Phoenix Parks and Recreation will be evaluating and taking inventory of all existing parks, recreation programming, and facilities, with an emphasis on water conservation and crime prevention. We will also assess community demographics and recreation trends to ensure equitable access to programs and services, and will evaluate how the department prioritizes funding. Lastly, how can you get involved? A large part of the master plan depends on you and your feedback. Phoenix Parks and Recreation will host community workshops, send out surveys, attend community events, survey neighborhoods and parks facilities, and work with community groups to receive feedback about our parks and recreation amenities and services. It's crucial to have public feedback throughout the entire process because, after all, our department serves thousands of Phoenicians every day. Thank you for being part of this journey as we pave the way for the next decade of parks and recreation services, creating spaces for all.
All right, thank you all for joining us here this evening. And so the feedback we received today is extremely important as we finalize the proposed budget to present to City Council, so your input may be considered before the budget is approved. As presented to City Council on February 27th and March 19th, the fiscal year 24-25 proposed general fund budget includes a one-time $80 million surplus. Unfortunately, due to the state's actions to eliminate residential rental sales tax, effective January 2025, and to reduce the individual income tax rate to the current flat tax, deficits are projected in fiscal year 25-26 and 26-27. Because the city is required to adopt a balanced budget, it's recommended to set aside and reserve the $80 million one-time surplus so it may be available to help balance the fiscal year 25-26 budget. However, your feedback is very important, so your priorities can be heard and considered for the coming fiscal years to ensure the budget reflects your input. We are now going to move to the public comment section here. We do have a number of people who have submitted cards, so if you haven't submitted a card, please do so. And then we will have a timer of 2 minutes apiece so that we can make sure to get to everyone and get you all out at a reasonable time. Yep, let's go ahead and show the budget video first. Sorry, jumping ahead.
The City of Phoenix trial budget for fiscal year 2024-2025, proposed by the Phoenix City Manager, is ready for public review and comment. A trial budget is a preliminary draft of the actual budget, estimating resources and costs to deliver services to the community for the coming fiscal year. How does Phoenix's annual budget work? The city budget is made up of 3 funds: the general fund, enterprise funds, and special revenue funds. The general fund is made up of general sales tax, property taxes, revenue distributed by the state from income tax, sales tax, and vehicle tax, and some fines and fees. The general fund supports many of the core services our residents, visitors, and businesses have come to expect in Phoenix, including libraries, parks, senior and youth programs, and police and fire services. Enterprise funds include city departments that only charge the people who use their services directly, like water and sewer, airline passengers at Sky Harbor, and trash and recycling customers. Finally, special revenue funds earmarked for specific purposes, from grants and voter-approved sales taxes dedicated for parks and preserves, transportation, and public safety. That's how Phoenix gets its money. Now, how do we spend it? Phoenix has a long history of responsible budgeting, ensuring resources are balanced to projected expenses each fiscal year. A top priority of the City Council is to ensure the public can engage in the budget development process every year, giving the community a voice in the future of our city. Residents have multiple opportunities to provide their input ahead of final budget decision-making scheduled for May 21st. Each year, departments work with budget and research to estimate costs to deliver existing programs and services, and staff forecast what resources will be available to pay for services. The city manager then proposes a trial budget in March that identifies how resources should best be allocated to ensure a balanced budget each fiscal year and to achieve city council and community priorities. Then we ask for your input at community budget hearings in April by using the Fund Phoenix interactive budget tool, available in English and Spanish, or by contacting the city directly to ensure the budget reflects the priorities of our residents and city council. After receiving your input, the city council will vote on the budget in May and legally adopt the budget in June. State law requires the city's budget to be balanced, and this year, the 2024-25 proposed budget includes a projected one-time general fund surplus of $80 million. However, the state legislative and executive branches recently made decisions that reduce the city's tax base. Senate Bill 1131 eliminates residential rental tax, and Senate Bill 1828 reduced individual income tax rates. The total general fund estimated impact in fiscal year 2024-25 is $54 million, and for fiscal year 25-26, $86 million from the state's actions. Due to the estimated ongoing revenue losses, city staff is projecting future deficits in fiscal years 2025-26 and 2026-27. And it is for this reason the city manager is proposing to set aside and reserve the $80 million one-time surplus to ensure future budgets can remain balanced and to preserve existing programs and services such as police and fire, parks, libraries, neighborhood and human services, and other essential community programs that can continue to be delivered to the community. We encourage you to provide your input in whatever way works best for you. You can use Fund Phoenix, an interactive budget tool in English and Spanish that lets you provide direct feedback on the proposed fiscal year 2024-25 general fund trial budget, or by email at budget.research@phoenix.gov. You can comment to the city's social media pages at City of Phoenix AZ on Facebook or on X using hashtag PHXBudget. or call us at 602-262-4800. The city manager will present his proposed budget for fiscal year 2024-2025 to Phoenix City Council on May 7th, 2024. The council's budget decision will take place on May 21st, 2024. All resident feedback will be shared with City Council so they may consider it before making final budget decisions. As a reminder, in November 2023, voters approved a $500 million general obligation bond program made up of 47 projects citywide. Projects include new and improved fire stations, parks, libraries, community and recreation centers, regional pools and splash pads, street and storm drain infrastructure improvements, projects for art facilities, and resources for affordable housing, renewable energy, and water efficiency projects. GeoBond projects are paid for with secondary property taxes, and projects are starting this summer. More information can be found online at phoenix.gov/bond. Thank you for engaging in the budget process and helping build the Phoenix of tomorrow.
All right. So thank you very much for watching the video again, and thanks for your participation. We are going to move into the part of the hearing where we're going to take public comments. We do have an interpreter here. So would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, all right. Well, then let's move on. So when your name is called, you'll have 2 minutes to speak, and please go ahead and approach the microphone so that you can be heard, and then we will take your comments then. And as the video said, all the comments will be put together, and then those will be given to the mayor and council for their consideration when they take their budget votes on May 7th and then May 21st. So with that, the first speaker is Bob Wetzel.
I am the HOA board president in Tremonto. It's far north of Phoenix. And what I'm asking for is that we be able to put some pickleball courts in our city park, which we have. I think that amenity would be great. If you know what's going on in Phoenix and around the country, pickleball has taken over. And so we want to get it put in as a part of our park. I think it would be a very important amenity, not only to benefit us, but to all the neighborhoods that are around us. There's housing going up all around us, and I think adding a pickleball court would be very beneficial for our residents. I know that over the last 6-7 months, there isn't a board meeting that goes by that I'm not given a request that we need to add pickleball courts. So that's my pitch.
Great. Thank you, sir. Lisa Glow.
Good evening, Vice Mayor Stark, Councilman Waring, Deputy City Manager, and City staff. I'm Lisa Glow, CEO at Central Arizona Shelter Services, here to speak about homelessness. First, to thank you, city leaders, for all you have done in our community. The efforts have been extraordinary, including with the Office of Homeless Solutions. Thank you also for being our partner for the last nearly 40 years and all the support you've provided to CAS. As Arizona's largest homeless provider, we served nearly 7,000 individuals last year, a 4% increase from the prior year, and then 34% increase the year before. These numbers are going to again rise when we open up the senior haven with 170 new beds for the 55 and older population. With the continuing rise in need and our expansion of services, we're asking for your support in this year's budget for our 2 main Phoenix shelters. First, for our Sunny Slope Family Shelter, which has operated for 35 years in Phoenix. This apartment complex serves 120 to 150 family members daily and nightly with emergency shelter and wraparound services. It's the second largest after UMOM. The vast majority are Phoenix residents, and we serve many large families because of the style of apartments. 65% of the residents are children. Family homelessness is on the rise, so we're asking for a budget allocation of $450,000 to help us keep open at the levels needed at this time of expansion and growth. Second, we're asking for an increased amount on our contract for adult shelter that is now serving 600 clients day and night, 24/7, with client employment and empowerment programs, which we added during the pandemic with a lot of pandemic support and funding. Our expansion was in direct response to an increased demand for beds in the community and help to get people off the streets. Our contract currently is at $1.047 million, which is about 18% of the overall budget, We serve more adults than any other shelter provider in the community. Last year, we served over 4,700 adults. 70 to 80% of those were all Phoenix residents. For our case management numbers, nearly 80% are all Phoenix residents, and 68% of all of our services are provided to Phoenix residents. We're asking you to add another $453,000 to our contract for a total of $1.5 million, so we can serve another nearly 5,000 people at the shelter next year. It will allow us to hire 6 case managers and to pay also for our increasing rent and maintenance costs on the key campus, as well as inside the shelter, where maintenance costs have accelerated greatly from serving 600 people with 24/7. We really are grateful for the recent support you helped us to bridge a deficit as ARPA funding is declining. So in conclusion, we're delivering more services than ever to Phoenix residents and others, and seeing a rise and surge in homelessness. And with the ARPA cliff, we really need more help in the budget this year. Thank you.
All right. Candace Freemo, we're going to bring you let's bring a microphone to you. You can bring one to you.
Good evening, Candace Freemo. I'm a resident in District 3, but I also chair the Black Mountain Community Alliance, which encompasses council districts 1, 2, and 3. So I like to claim all of our council people. My reason for being here this evening is I was looking at the 10-page color brochure that's on the phoenix.gov budget page, and it talks about the voter-approved initiatives for special funding that's dedicated for public safety. What caught my attention is that it is rolled into the general fund, and it is now supplanting rather than supplementing, which was the intent of the voters when we approved those. So I'd like to see what those numbers are and how much money is being rolled into the general that should be dedicated as supplemental funds and not supplanting the general. Thank you.
Thank you. Ann Ender.
Good evening, my name's Ann Ender. I'm the president of Operation Blue Ribbon. I live in District 6. Thank you to Deputy City Manager Stevenson for having this meeting. My comments are brief. I first of all want to thank the city manager and the budget research department for a really well thought out budget. Every year they really protect us. They hold our money aside and keep us in the right place, which brings me to the $80 million surplus. I strongly believe that that surplus must remain just that. We're facing not only economic downturns, but we've got a couple of things to think of due to the loss of the $130 million in rental tax. We haven't talked about what or where the funding will come from should the Phoenix Police Department go under a consent decree, or the city fights the Department of Justice on that. So those litigation funds and the money that a consent decree would cost us, because on average, it's around $20 million a year. Last and most important, I think that the whole focus of this budget, and I think it's well thought out, and we look at all the different areas, but we need to keep the response time of our police department and our fire department as our main focus. We're coming up to around 9 minutes. So think about what your life would be like if you had to call either PD or fire. Someone's having a heart attack, and you need to wait 9 minutes. So I think we have to use the money to figure out a solution to that. And don't go there with the GO bond, because those funds have already been dedicated, and they're being built and they're being implemented, but we still need to think about how we're going to address the response time. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Ismael Morales?
Good evening. Thank you, both Councilman Waring and Vice Mayor Stark, for being here. My name is Ismael Morales. I serve on the Phoenix Arts and Culture Commission. I've been on there since 2018. This will be my last year on it in October. But and I was appointed by the late Mayor Thelda Williams as well, so that's on record. But arts and culture has done great things for the city out of my time there. Very good things. They have curated a successful public art program, to the community grants program, that it gives a lot of mini grants to many of these artists that have gotten support, along with you guys that supported millions of dollars to good local artists and good local businesses that have supported the arts over the years. And I honestly think it's an economic pusher to the city. You know, as you come to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, it's amazing, all the art that you see there, the galleries that you see there. It's just amazing. You know, it's like a rolling mat, a welcome mat, so to speak. So, I'm not going to go through all the numbers because I'm sure you know. But and also in my time there, the office has been more inclusive. I know they're doing more arts projects, not just in D3 or in D1, but also in D5 and D7, which they are all well needed down there. I work in District 5. I'm a proud teacher there, so I educate in Maryvale. So, you know, I have a long commute. I commute on the bus as well, so I've done all of those things. But I know times are tight. I understand that in its Arizona law that the budgets need to be balanced. That's just a thing. It's not like California where they can roll over a deficit, you know, even though they can carry a credit rating. And of course, we all know that. But if we have to use part of that 80 million, you know, in the future, at least be considerate of the community arts, the grants. I know that Mitch Machaca, amazing director, has done a lot of good things ever since he came there. And so I feel that the arts sector does always, and I think you guys can be a good partner. The Arizona Commission of the Arts is not funded this year, so you guys can be their early partner. So I had to shorten it up because I know I wanted to bring up a concern, and this is for District 3 and the Phoenix Public Transit Department, if they're here. I'm concerned about the shelter on 32nd Street at Shea Boulevard. There has not been a shelter for over 2 years. That is because there was a car crash. They crashed into it. And I know that local businesses are trying to protect their businesses by putting screws on the little things to not having people sit there. So I travel on the bus. I became a commuter for a year now. So, and I have a car, but it's just my choice to support public transit. But I think that needs to be looked at. I know there's going to be a public art project there to revitalize that area. So I would like people to look into that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we have the public transit staff find Mr. Morales there in just a minute, would you please? Great, thank you. All right, looks like Marshall Zabel. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
That was pretty good. Marshall Zeeble. All right. My name is Marshall Zeeble. I'm here to represent Phoenix Fire Crisis. I'm a Phoenix firefighter. Public speaking is not my thing, but I'm going to give you the best that I've got. So what I want to talk about is the success. Success of firefighters for us right now, everything that we do is based on time. Time, how far, how long, how quick you can get to the truck, how fast you can get your gear on, how quick you can respond to that emergency, okay? Our response times, you've heard it, are averaging 9 minutes. 9 minutes is an average. So that means in some parts of town that an average, it's over 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 11, 12. To me, that needs to be addressed. We don't have enough fire stations. We don't have enough fire trucks. We do not have enough firefighters. You've heard it from our administration has told you as council members. They've told you we don't have a right-sized fire department for this size of the city of Phoenix. The city of Phoenix has boomed in population, has grown exponentially. We all know that. We see it. We live with the traffic from it. We have grown, but our fire department has not. For a city this size, we should have about 80, or for a city this size with a population and a growth that we've experienced, our fire department should have approximately 80 to 90 fire stations, and we have less than 60. That needs to be addressed. Our community members, they deserve so much more. We deserve, as firefighters, our success in the time that we have are given, starting at 9 minutes or 10 minutes to make a difference in a medical emergency, to make a difference in a fire. Our success is diminished. We don't have that opportunity. I'm here to tell you right now, please, members of the council, hear what we're saying. Please hear what we're saying. We need to grow our fire stations, or our fire department, our fire stations. We need to add to them. Please, in addition to the GO bond, please add to our fire department and grow our fire department. Grow it to the point to where we actually have the resources, we have the firefighters, and we have everything that we need to be successful. Please consider this next year in the budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Nathan Wylands. Oh, Mark does not wish to speak, but here for the Phoenix Fire Crisis, we have Josh North, who also does not wish to speak, but here for the Phoenix Fire Crisis. Tyler Baker does not wish to speak, but also here for the Fire Crisis. Taylor Simmons, also here for the Fire Crisis, does not wish to speak. And let's see, Matt Chaganay, also Fire Crisis, does not wish to speak. Aaron Ducher does not wish to speak, but also here for the Fire Crisis. And Tim Kneib, Fire Crisis. Jason Wright, Fire Crisis. Adam Leamer, who does not wish to speak, but would like to have sport court, basketball court installed at Kierland Park. Nothing there for older kids to use currently. And then Kim Gunterman, who does not wish to speak, but she would like to comment on speed mitigation along Cave Creek Road, south of Cactus, to address excessive speeding. Funds for a traffic light on Cactus or Desert Cove is her comment. Anyone else have any other comments that cards that they put in?
I think Tim, actually, it looked like his said, you wanted to speak, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Tim? Sorry.
I thought he checked, yeah, I think.
Did I miss? Tim, he did. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Tim. Come on up.
Thought we'll come back to that later. And this is with my LASIK-strained eyes, Alan. I saw that.
They're better than my regular.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, Vice Mayor Stark, Councilman Waring, Deputy City Manager Stevenson, city staff, my brothers and sisters from the fire department. My name's Tim Kenobi. I live in this council district, District 3. My kids go to Paradise Valley Pool. We go to Mesquite Library. We do soccer at the fields over here. All right, so we appreciate what the city staff has done, the work that they've done in the budget. I also work in this council district. I work at Engine 27, just around the corner on 32nd and Cactus, affectionately named the Sweetwater Express, because we are up and down it day and night. All right, so I'm also a member of the United Phoenix Firefighters, and we are here to raise awareness for our Phoenix Fire Crisis campaign. And the fact that we're here shows how serious we are about this crisis and its dire consequences. Like you've heard, response times are nearing 9 minutes, averaging much higher than the national average of 5 minutes. And these extra minutes and seconds can be the difference between life and death for you or a loved one. In this neighborhood, well, actually in Council District 2, the response times for an ambulance are 12 minutes and 14 seconds. In District 3 here, in this district, the average response time for an ambulance is 10 minutes and 19 seconds. And like I said, I work at Engine 27. Last year, we ran over 4,600 emergency calls. That's considered extremely high workload, meaning that when Engine 27 is on a fire call, you're waiting on a neighboring fire truck or ambulance, increasing the response time. So, we're not asking for raises, we're not asking for more benefits to effectively decrease response times. We need more firefighters, we need more paramedics, fire stations, fire trucks, and ambulances. So, we're here today, raising awareness for this campaign, asking for your support to support our elected leaders in making these tough decisions. So we've got some flyers for you if you're interested in more information, and we appreciate your support and time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. That concludes all of the speakers for today's budget hearing. Thank you for your participation and providing feedback on the fiscal year 24-25 proposed trial budget. This concludes our hearing. Thank you for your attendance. Have a great evening. Hopefully your taxes are in. If not, you got a couple hours left.